I'm Rob, and this is Robsfeed. I am a baseball fan, no doubt about it. I am just as excited that the New York Yankees, minutes ago, have won the World Series, even though they're not my team. Never have been my team. They're even of the wrong league. They're the American League, the designated hitter league. I don't like that idea. I've always been with the National League. My team's Chicago Cubs, but you gotta admit, the New York Yankees, legendary, the standard bearers. They've got the title now 27 times, but they haven't had it in 9 years. For them, it's a long time. At this beautiful new stadium, some of the most dynamic fans ever, and as I speak, it's like New York City is in the New Year's Eve mode with all the celebration, all the cheering, all the jumping up and down. Twitter is just there's thousands of tweets about the Yankees' victory. And here you go, New York Yankees. I couldn't find my Yankees baseball cap, or I'd have that on my head now too. So congratulations, New Yorkers. All my fans out there, all the Yankee fans out there. It's great. I'm a Cubs fan, I'm a Brewers fan, but more than that, I'm a baseball fan. And I'm just as excited about it as you should be. And Philadelphia Phillies fans, nothing to be ashamed of. Your man Garrett Utley, he could have won the MVP, even though he's from a losing team. So it was a great series, and how romantic it happened. The pennant was won on the home field, right back. They brought it. The Phillies won last night, brought it back to New York so that they could win it at home. That's baseball, and I love it. But I'll tell you what I don't love, and that's what the people in Maine did on Tuesday. I'm going to read a thing from a blog here, if I can find it. accidentalwisconsinite.blogspot.com. Tuesday, November 3rd, 2009, the entry says, astute readers of the Accidental Wisconsinite, I should say this is a Twitter buddy of mine, Megan in Milwaukee, and I'm liberally taking from her blog here. I'm reading it to you. Astute readers of the Accidental Wisconsinite may know that I was born in Portland, Maine, but grew up in Portland, Oregon. I'm about to pack up for the night, but wanted to point something else while I fall asleep in an absolute nail-biter. The gay marriage debate is often likened to that of interracial marriage. A half-century ago, it had several states up in arms, and now we look back, with the exception of some freakazoid former judge in Louisiana, and ask, what were we thinking? Little did I realize a quarter century ago, when I was a child attending one of my earliest weddings in memory, that some closed-minded people may have had a problem with it. To me, this wedding stands out in my foggy reminiscences because it was the first ceremony I recall not being in a church. It was in a house, and there was a super fun party in the backyard with lots of tasty food and live music. I remember running around with the other kids for hours and having a total blast. In my memory, the house was a yellow Victorian. Only with my societally influenced adult mind do I recognize that the bride was white and the groom was black. What difference does that make to me? None. They could be purple, but my Auntie Willow and Uncle Forrest were a major part of my childhood, and I love them like they were my blood relatives. That's why I don't understand why it would be any different if it were two aunties or two uncles getting married. If they were a loving couple and a model to young people of a happy, healthy relationship, why should a law stand in the way of their commitment? Why can't we get a referendum on the ballot that says, marriage shall be a recognition of love between two consenting adults. It doesn't matter what is between their legs. And now what's interesting is that I think that's wonderful. And I'm so proud of Megan for having written that. Again, that's Accidental Wisconsinite at blogspot.com if you want to see it yourself. A couple years ago, my brother was riding someplace, I don't remember where, and he brought up the idea of gay marriage. And he said, this protecting marriage movement, he said, I don't get it. said, if so-and-so and so-and-so gets married or doesn't get married, what does that how does that impact my marriage at all? He's right. Megan's right. Megan and my brother are just two people. And you know where both of them would have voted if they'd been in Maine on Tuesday. It's just horrendous. It's just mean-spirited and beyond logic. I'm going to read from a few of the tweets about the subject. Maine, lobster is an abomination. Lobster is an abomination. I guess it says that in Leviticus. It says a lot of things in Leviticus, but nobody pays attention to that one. Why, if a man lays with another man, that is an abomination. That they all remember. But nobody thinks about the lobsters. The Sexy Man movie review. Hooray! And this time I'm going to talk about Ryan Phillippe. Oh, the dear boy. He is, as he matures, he's getting even better looking. Oh, he's matured. He's done a lot of things. Gosford Park. He was the innocent, the good cop in the movie Crash. Oh, he had a shirt on that, and I think most of these things he has. I saw a movie this week called Five Fingers. He and Lawrence Fishburne star in the movie, and he's gorgeous in it. It's a long, involved plot with a really good twist. Again, it's kind of gruesome. That's where the title Five Fingers comes in, and I won't spoil it by telling you why, but there is one scene where he's held captive, where you do see him without his shirt, but that's only because the female captor is bathing him. He has been handcuffed and tied to that chair for so long that they did grant him that. But besides that, the movie's very good. It was not a big hit. I had never heard of it before until I saw it in the Redbox DVD vending machine. And on the strength of the fact that Ryan was in it, I did rent it. And I ended up, I'm almost being haunted by the thing. And I've saved it to my hard drive, and I've watched it more than once. Not because of the shirtless scene, just because it's a damn fine movie. Nothing for kids, but so very interesting and sort of intriguing, and it's quite the mystery. On that note, go out and rent Five Fingers. If your community has a protest coming up this week about gay marriage, do what you can to support that. I know here in Chicago there's one tomorrow. I can't make it, unfortunately, but I'd love to be there with my video camera. You can call the hotline for this podcast. It's 206-339-1690. I'll repeat, 206-339-1690. You can drop me a note, robsfeed@gmail.com, robsfeed@gmail.com. And, of course, you can follow me on Twitter. Send me a notice there. Twitter.com/robsfeed. Twitter.com/robsfeed. But the sweetest thing you could do for me, for the podcast, would be to go into iTunes and give this podcast a rating. Click the rating and write a brief review. So the more people who do that, the more exposure Apple gives the podcast, and then the more other people find us. It's like a rolling dervish or something spinning out of control. I'd really appreciate that if you do that. In the meantime, thank you. Thanks for downloading. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye.